Good morning, everyone. I hope that you've grabbed your coffee, your tea, whatever it is that gets you going in your morning and you're ready to sit down and hear this message from me. I actually wanted to wake up. I woke up at 3:45 this morning and literally almost gave this message to you, but then I talked myself out of it and I went back to bed. But I woke up in such a oh gosh, it just was such a strong feeling that I needed to share this message. And a lot of times when I get these feelings, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I just don't know. I usually don't go down that road. But this one woke me up and I was literally in tears about it. So that makes me think that it is something I need to share. And it is a thought process that hopefully you'll go through today. And as a community of those of you listening and watching right now, we can intend for something good to come. I usually don't play around with talking about government or politics or religion or anything like that, simply because it's just a slippery slope. Everyone has their own perceptions or judgments and realizations, and I just don't like going there too often. But the state of our government and what's going on with the government shutdown, it is affecting people, and it's affecting people of our community, people we love. It's affecting us regardless of whether or not directly or indirectly. And therefore, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Yesterday, Scott and I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer say, when you look at things differently, the things you look at change. Okay, so listen to that very closely. When you look at things differently, the things that you look at change. So I would like to ask all of us to just step back and take a look at what's going on. Now, we all have friends on Facebook, or we have friends in our home or in our community or even in our home that have all these perceptions about what's going on, and the bickering at the Capitol, and all this, indecisiveness, and the egos and all of the things that is being interpreted through all of this. And I want to ask that we all just stop judging it and start intending what we wish to come from it. Because if the quote that I just mentioned to you felt right and it resonated with your heart, then the way we look at things is going to play a role in what's going to happen. And I don't know about you, I may be the only one, but I went through a few years during the recession where it was really a challenge for me, financially, emotionally, relationally, everything. It just was so much. And I wondered if we would ever get through it. And then, finally we just started to climb back up, and we've learned from our mistakes, and we're growing, and we've been humbled, right? We've been humbled. If you haven't been humbled yet, and you're not humble, you will be. So I would choose to get humble before you're forced to. Just get that out there. But as American population, and I know globally too, from the world is ready for it to stop. I mean, we're all ready for the whole way of doing business, the government, the way it's been ran in the past. We're ready for it to just get under control. How can we come together as one, unite? We may not always see eye to eye, and that's okay. But how can we learn to communicate more effectively, listen to one another? We may have disagreements, but that's okay. We need to set the ego aside. When egos are set aside, then what happens is that communion happens. We can come to an agreement of what's best for the people, what is best for the community. And so, I know I have absolutely no credentials to talk about government. I really, truly have none. But what I can talk about is relationships. I can talk about, how to come from the place of lack to the place of abundance consciousness and prosperity consciousness. But what I do know is that me, the viewer, what I see looking outward and seeing what's happening, at the White House, or seeing what's happening across the globe, the more I choose to see it, in a negative light, or I choose to look at it and put it down, I'm giving more energy to it. I'm feeding it. So the solution that came to me through all of this, as I just started crying because I was feeling the pain of all of our government workers that are at home and they're worried about their jobs and getting paid. And if you're one of them, I want to speak to you very closely right now, because I ask that you take this moment and really focus on you. Focus on doing something for yourself. Go work, in your little workshop. Go to the school and volunteer for your child. Go plant a garden. Bake something. Write. You've been meaning to write and you haven't been writing. Do something that makes your heart sing during this time that you're off. And spend less time focusing on worrying whether or not it's going to, whether or not it's going to, the government's going to get their act together. Because whatever we feed grows. So we don't want to feed negative into the situation. Obviously, there's enough already around that. But what can we do as a society? What can we do together to help our country to come together and become the country that's admirable and conscious and loving and kind and generous? I believe that if we all come together in prayer, I know it might sound like, oh my gosh, is she a little wacko? But I do believe in the power of prayer. And if we all just put the intention out there that we see that our government leaders set all egos aside and do what's best for our communities, for the people, and regardless of what might be said about them. And it's so important that we just do what's right for the people. We do what's right. We're tired. We're ready. We're ready to grow even more. We've learned from our mistakes. We're ready for our government to learn from their mistakes. And let's push through this. And as a country, do what's the right thing, because everyone's watching. The world is watching, and they're waiting and to see what we do and if we come through it. And I know we will. I know we will. But we need to intend the right things. We need to focus on the right things and stop feeding, the fears and feed the good. Okay? Have faith, trust, come together, unite. And I ask that you pray today. Pray for all these things. Pray, see the government coming together and our country just coming together as one and working together as one, and children are being fed, and parents are working, and things in our world are healing, and we're waking up. Okay? We're waking up. So I don't know. I don't know if this touched your heart at all, but I know that it was so heavily put on my heart that I had to share it. So if it touches one of you, then I've done my job. And if it touches more than that, then at least that's more energy focusing on the good. And that's going to help us to get where we want to be, so that all of us can have a peaceful, free world and home. Okay, so okay, I feel better now. I got it off my chest, and now we can live our day with prosperity consciousness and forward thinking, innovative thinking, and being courageous to step in out of the past and into the new and into the present, and becoming the image that we know as a society we can be by coming together as one and celebrating each other and elevating each other. That will take us to a whole nother standard of living, and trust me, we're gonna like it. We're really gonna like it. Have a blessed, beautiful, gorgeous day. Pay blessings. I forgot to start off the Coffee with Christy with your gratitude. Say thank you for all the gifts in your life, and focus on what's right, not what's not. All right. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode. Never know what you're going to get with me. Bye. Agreed.